The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good morning and welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. Of course, you guys know I'm Ed and I got Carol and Pedro with me this morning. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
So, I guess this is hump day. It is Wednesday. So, let me get in. We got a couple of different interest groups tonight, all about technology. First up is at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be AI for beginners. So, I mean, if you're interested in learning how to use AI and, want to get some tips and stuff like that to help you out as far as using it, come on in, check us out at 5 p.m. And then once that's over at 6 p.m., we roll right on into advanced technology with my brother Pedro here. And he'll have some interesting things to share with you. Always something, different about what things that you can do with your phone or whatever, so come on out and check him out. So the party starts at 5, and then, like I said, we do the AI thing, then we move right on into the advanced thing. So, again, come on out and hang out with us. So, anyway, other than that, a quick announcement of Friday. Please tune in, tell a friend, whatever. We'll have a live interview with a group of folks that does live audio description for plays and stuff like that. So something that I was not aware that even existed until recently. And bottom line, one of the folks that works with us here at Blind United, they brought them to us, and we're going to have an interview with them and find out how we can get more involved and get more audio description within some of the things we like concerts and, other stuff like that. So, but again, come on out and check us out on Friday. Hey, drop your comment in the comment section, and we'll definitely make sure we ask them the questions that you may have. So, moving forward, this first article, I ran across this last night. It happened a little while back, but anyway, man, this is crazy. I mean, this is about police and the things that they will do. So anyway, let's check this out and we'll talk about it on the other end because I'm quite sure we're going to have a lot of conversation about this one.
Today on Coffee Time, Justice Denied? The Death of Stuart Mast and the Limits of Accountability. In September 2024, a routine traffic stop in Ashe County, North Carolina, escalated into a fatal encounter that has since ignited deep public concern and raised serious questions about police accountability. Stuart Chad Mast, a 48-year-old motorcyclist, was pulled over by deputies for an expired tag. What should have been a minor citation spiraled into a deadly confrontation. Body camera footage, released only recently in May 2025, revealed critical moments during the arrest. As Mast tried to detach a safety cord from his vest, deputies forcibly pulled him from his motorcycle. The fall caused his safety vest to inflate, complicating the situation further. Amid the struggle, one deputy was heard threatening, "I'm going to choke you out." Moments later, after Mast was handcuffed, deputies discovered he was unresponsive and began administering Narcan and CPR in an attempt to revive him. An autopsy would later classify Mast's death as a homicide, citing compression asphyxia of the torso and neck as the primary cause. The report also noted contributing factors: methamphetamine intoxication and pre-existing heart disease. Despite these medical findings and the disturbing content of the body camera footage, a grand jury in May 2025 declined to file any charges against the deputies involved. The decision followed a review by Watauga County District Attorney Seth Banks, who was brought in from outside Ashe County to avoid potential conflicts of interest. Yet Mast's family and many community members have been left with more questions than answers. You just can't go around killing folks because you've got a badge, Mast's brother stated in a recent interview, voicing the family's deep frustration and the broader community's sense of injustice. This case has now become emblematic of the growing national debate over the use of force in policing and the accountability mechanisms, or lack thereof, that govern law enforcement officers. The body camera footage, which should serve as a tool for transparency, instead underscores the complexities and challenges in securing justice, even when misconduct appears evident. For advocates of police reform, Mast's death highlights troubling patterns: the disproportionate escalation of force during routine stops, the opacity surrounding internal investigations, and the reluctance of the criminal justice system to hold officers criminally responsible for actions that lead to civilian deaths. As the public reviews the footage and weighs the grand jury's decision, the Mast family's call for accountability continues to resonate beyond Ashe County. Their plea speaks to a larger struggle unfolding in communities nationwide, a struggle to ensure that policing practices do not erode the very public trust they are meant to uphold. What do you think? Should the deputies have faced criminal charges? Are current oversight systems adequate for holding law enforcement accountable? Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
So I would advise anybody to go and check this out and get a good listen on well, I'm saying listen because I can't see it, but anyway, take a good look at that body cam footage. Man, it was crazy. It really was crazy. I mean, this guy's on a motorcycle, got his helmet on. You hear them talking about this safety vest, or something I didn't even know existed, I guess. But anyway, it's something that is an inflatable vest to where if he becomes separated from the motorcycle, it actually blows it up to give his torso cushion, from, falling and tumbling or whatever the case may be in the fall, because that's what it's, designed for, right? But again, this guy's got his helmet on. They come up to him and they got guns drawn on him and they're barking orders at him. But again, remember, he's got his helmet on. They don't give him time to unhook that vest, right? The cord that's attached to his motorcycle. Instead, they tackle him off the bike. And then they got him on the ground, start wrestling with him. His vest is inflated, so now he's got all that pressure around his torso. The cop literally wraps his arm around the guy's neck underneath his helmet and then kept telling him, "I'm gonna choke your ass out," right? And then once they get done, he's dead, okay? Then the cop makes a phone call, I guess, to a superior, and he's running the scenario down. So evidently they know who this guy was. They allegedly believe he's part of the drug trafficking, right? So they seen him come off the freeway and they pursued him. You know what I'm saying? And there was two cars. I mean, one of them jumped in front of him and started. It ain't like he was trying to get away. I mean, he was driving, but he wasn't, excessive or nothing like that, right? But anyway, they pulled in front of him, got him to pull over, and then all this other stuff started, But again, they don't tell the part about all this other stuff, man. I mean, and then in the very, very beginning, as usual, the police department and the higher ups or whatever, they don't find no problem with this stuff. I mean, they were actually never charged with this, but yet now we got a man that's dead because of their excessive force. So it's crazy. This stuff has got to change. Again, I'm not against police. Really never have been because there's good cops out there. I'm being honest. I know some good cops. Hung out with them. They're good folks, but again, they don't stand up to the bad cops. So on that instance, that makes them bad cops because they won't stand up against the bad cops. So but this is some crazy, crazy stuff. And again, now we're talking about 2, 3 years later, the body cam footage gets released, and it's a whole different story. So, man, this is crazy. So, what you got on this, Carol?
It's a really sad case. I had not heard of it, but I was a motorcycle rider, had a helmet, full face guard, never heard of the vest either. But, it's just really sad that you don't give a person time to do anything. And you're right, you don't hear very well with those helmets on. You got to give me the opportunity to take my helmet off, get off. I can try to verbally tell you what I'm doing, especially if you don't know, if you've never ridden a bike, but it's just awful, and it continues to happen. You're right. I mean, you just can't ride the street safely anymore. There are some good cops, but man, their stories are not told. We're always hearing about the bad ones, and it just continues on and on and on and on. Really
Well,
sad.
I think we would hear more about the good cops if they were standing up against the bad cops.
That's true. Now that
You
is
know what I'm
true,
saying?
because
Uh,
some will
you,
stand and watch bad behavior and won't do nothing.
but again, I mean, it just I mean, I watch a lot of First Amendment auditors, and it's just basically in there. It's almost like it's in the cops' DNA, whatever that gets implanted with them when they go through the academy. I don't know, but they just think that their word is law. Uh,
Right.
they want to impress that on everybody. They playing on the fact that most folks are ignorant to what the actual laws are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they play on that. They tell you, and they'll tell you it's a lawful order, actually, when it's illegal for them to tell you certain things. So,
Right. That's true.
anyway, Pedro, what you got, my brother?
Well, yeah, I believe it's in their training. There is something within their training. We need to reevaluate some of their training techniques, maybe practice de-escalation. Um, because you know they could have visually seen his vest inflating and all that. It's four of them, 4 to 6, because sometimes you have 3 deputies in the car sometimes. So I'm estimating 4 to 6, right? For one man.
Mm.
That's already unfair odds.
Right.
They have tasers. They have, you know what I mean? They have other forms. But first, practice de escalation. What happened to use your words? I think they need some of that too. The
Mm-hmm.
the guy did not oppose any threat, you know. Like I don't know what they wanted him to do. They wanted him to keep going or what? Like he stopped. He's complying, and now we have someone's maybe husband, brother, father, uncle gone and dead, and this has been happening multiple and multiple times across the nation. What happened to police reform? You keep hearing police reform and all this, but you know, nothing ever happens because we have two extreme sides. One side says, well, they want to defund the police and defund all the police departments, but it's not even like that. We need reform on policy, maybe even in training policies and what they teach. We need to know what are they teaching these young police
Cadets.
officers, the cadets. We need to maybe set a nationwide protocol and guidelines. They might have to every 2 weeks talk to a therapist confidentially, because what about something happens at home and they bring it onto the job and they have a stressful job too at that.
Yeah.
They do have a few bad apples. That doesn't make the whole bunch rotten. But if you keep those apples there, then the bunch does get rotten.
That's
Yes,
true.
sir. Yes,
You
Hmm.
sir.
know, and you know, in different areas you hear about even deputy gangs. So sometimes I understand in a way why some deputies stay closed, like they keep their mouth closed, because sometimes, even some of their lives might be in stake, you know? So,
Yeah.
it's a thing that we do need to address, as a society, but it might take a federal government and states, working together. But I don't know in this climate how that is going to work right now. But need we need police reform. We need
Oh
to
yeah.
evaluate first. You know.
Well, I mean, and I've said this a million times, so this is nothing new. The first thing need to do is get rid of internal affairs and have a citizen review board.
Right.
Okay,
Mm,
you
mm.
can't let the police
Police the
themselves.
police. That's right.
That
Look
ain't
what's
gonna
happening
work.
right now. Who polices like the top federal government.
Right. So, right quick, Katie says good morning, and yes, more audio description is needed. Then she also makes a statement that cops are trained to treat traffic stops, you know, in a certain way as a volatile situation because there may be drugs and stuff involved. Uh, I mean, I don't agree with that. I'm not going to say that's not in their training, but also in this situation, he's not in a car. He's in a motorcycle. You can see everything this guy's doing.
Right.
So I don't see how that was a volatile situation. You know, so I mean, again,
But even let's say for example, it is a car, and you believe there's drugs and guns, right? So what would you do as policy, right? You would say, I need you to stop your car, put it in park, hand out your keys out the window, and let them fall to the floor. Now open the door and step out and walk backwards. This is how it's done.
Right.
So that's not even an excuse. If you really think it's a big threat like that, you just won't walk up to the window. You will approach from a slightly distance to make sure, because is their life in danger, is their life on the line.
right,
So you can tell them, turn off engine, throw your keys out the window, step out one by one, you know and there's ways. So there's no excuse to walk up to a car and then all of a sudden a person is dead and the person is unarmed.
Yeah. I mean, I have friends right now that have young sons, and they tell them, use your words. Okay, I'm taking the keys out of the ignition. I'm putting my hands in my glove compartment to get my register. They have to describe with their words everything they're doing, because if not, and they just make a move.
Yeah, yeah, and they
I
do.
think we lost.
I think we
Uh,
lost her, but yeah, I think little movements, little like that. She's correct. There is families that are around the table, and some folks might not know, but there's families that talk to their children about police stops and how to try to avoid a deadly situation, because a parent wouldn't want their kids gone.
But the
No.
sad part is, Pedro, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, dog. The
Mhm,
sad part is, it's only brown skinned folks that are having that conversation with their kids because
mhm.
the other folks don't need to worry about it. They're fine. I mean, and I stand and hold my hand up and make that statement because I have been stopped many, many times, and my skin color has gotten me treated a whole different way. Now, when they found out that I was with, black folks or whatever, oh, then I got a whole nother type of treatment. You know what I'm saying? But as long as they thought I was just a white guy, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing, whatever, man, I got a whole different kind of treatment. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that I'm saying is just despicable to me. Why do minority, especially young men, have to grow up with that fear? And that, you know what I'm saying? And then that fear ends up turning into hatred. You know what I'm saying? In most cases. So again, it's just it's a really, really sad situation. So did you let her back in?
No, not yet. I'm about to cut to a commercial, and you
Okay,
can.
go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to the next one because it is that time. So
if you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United. Do you need to talk? Are you struggling with your mental health? Are you struggling with substance abuse issues? Call the Orange County NAMI Warm Line. That number is 877-910-9276. That number again is 877-910-9276.
all right. Well, make sure. Okay, no, just the last one about Katie and her understanding on the way they're supposed to treat traffic accidents. But anyway, we're gonna move on to this next one. It's another day, as my favorite, one of my favorite independent news sources says. We're dealing with Trump, and it's just another day in his madness. So check this out, where he's trying to put some tariffs now.
Today on Coffee Time, Hollywood in turmoil. Trump's foreign film tariff shakes the industry. President Donald Trump's recent proposal to impose a 100% tariff on films produced outside the United States has triggered intense debate and unease throughout the entertainment world. Announced on May 4th, the tariff is framed by Trump as a national security measure intended to counteract foreign incentives that draw U.S. film productions overseas and, in his view, undermine America's cultural and economic interests. But in Hollywood, the mood is anything but supportive. Industry shockwaves. Major film studios, Disney, Netflix, and Warner Brothers among them, saw their stocks fall by more than 2% after the proposal became public. Executives and producers are scrambling to assess how such a sweeping tariff could even be implemented in an industry that thrives on global collaboration. Today's movies are often financed, filmed, and edited across multiple countries. In a digital era where films are distributed through streaming platforms, enforcing a tariff based on a film's origin would be logistically and legally complex. Critics warn that the tariff could drive up production costs, isolate American filmmakers from international markets, and ultimately make it harder to produce the kind of blockbuster films audiences expect. Global ripple effects. The United Kingdom and Australia, both hubs for American film production thanks to tax incentives and skilled labor, are particularly concerned. British studios like Pinewood, where franchises like James Bond and Star Wars have been filmed, fear a severe downturn. Australia's Goldiewood scene is also bracing for potential job losses and reduced foreign investment. Film industry representatives in both countries have cautioned that Trump's plan could spark trade disputes and damage long-standing creative partnerships. Labor's divided opinion. While most of Hollywood's elite and international stakeholders oppose the tariffs, some U.S. labor leaders see potential benefits. Teamsters President Sean M. O'Brien voiced support, suggesting that tariffs might help reverse outsourcing trends and strengthen domestic film production jobs. But California Governor Gavin Newsom took a different stance, calling the proposal punitive and short-sighted. Newsom is advocating for a federal incentive program to encourage domestic production through positive reinforcement rather than restrictive tariffs. What's next? For now, the tariffs are not yet in effect. The White House has signaled that it will consult with industry leaders before deciding how or if to proceed. Still, the mere suggestion has disrupted markets and sparked fears of long-term harm to one of America's most iconic industries. This proposed tariff also raises a broader question. Should government policy reshape the creative industries, and at what cost? The entertainment world and the millions who work in it wait anxiously for the administration's next move. What do you think? Would tariffs on foreign-made films help or hurt the U.S. film industry? Share your thoughts. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
So, again, this to me is another crazy one. Number one, I don't even understand how you're going to put a tariff on a movie, right? I mean, this is something that, they create the movie, and then they distribute it, to the various theaters or whatever. I mean, what you going to do? Put a bump in every ticket? Or are you just going to charge them, the one time for once the movie is completed, right? Certain things in there I kind of agree with, as far as the production side of it, when it comes to all of the digital production and stuff. I'm quite sure there's quite a few people here in the States that can handle that, that part of the production. But again, what did the article say? These countries are offering incentives for people to, the film industry to come there and do these things and stuff like that, right? And then let's go here on the flip side. Who wants to watch a movie about, being in the Bahamas or whatever, in Jamaica, whatever, and now we sitting in a studio, right? It's just, yeah, it can be reproduced, but you're not going to get that authenticity. You know what I'm saying? Little quick story. Way back in the day, I had a job briefly working at Universal Studios. A friend of mine got me a job as a prop builder. And I don't know who all might remember the movie that John Belushi did before he passed away. It was called Continental Divide. Well, just, to make this shorten this up, production is crazy. They literally sent us to the mountains of Colorado, and we built the cabin that the movie was filmed in. Then once we got all the shots that we needed being in Colorado, we literally broke that cabin back down, numbered each and every piece, packed it up in a truck, brought it back to California, and put that cabin back together in a soundstage. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, we already had all the background images we needed. So now everything is just going to be about the cabin. Again, a lot of movies take that thing, you know what I'm saying? So it just doesn't make any sense. And this man does not realize that tariffs are a tax on us. We're going to end up paying whatever he's charging these people to do what they do. So, this is just totally crazy on my, that's my thing. This man is about to really Pissed me off. But anyway, I'm sorry. So what you think about this, Carol? You back with us? Am I by myself?
No, no, I'm right here.
I don't know what
Um,
happened to her. Well, go ahead and just give me your part on it, Pedro.
say that again.
No, just go ahead and bring me your part, and I don't
Okay.
know what happened to her.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. I added character to stage two. It doesn't make sense. He's trying to uh tariff movies, and his idea about tariffing everything. I don't know where he got this concept. That tariffs is a good thing. The way he's utilizing them, across the whole board, you know, and he's basing this off of uh some people around him. I guess to him, he's like, well, I look. Some people think he just doesn't know tariffs and he's dumb and this and that, right?
Right,
After a while, you can't use that excuse. After a while, he is knowing what he's doing to to the American public, to the American nation. After a while, it's no excuse. It's been 100 days, and look what's happened. We lost trillions of dollars in the stock market. We have ships leaving, well, trying to dock, but then leaving back because of the tariffs with goods. There's warnings already across local news that some shelves is going to start being empty. Um, the prices in eggs have not dropped. The wars have not stopped. Matter of fact, this man, this so-called um businessman wants to take over Canada, Mexico, Greenland. That does not sound like peace to me. That doesn't sound like anti-war either, like they always screaming anti-war, anti-corruption either.
right.
Um, you know,
Well, he's totally corrupt. So
yeah, he's totally corrupt. And plus, now it
Really?
seems like we might even go into a new war with Iran, even though this wasn't the plan since the 80s, since the last Republican president in the 80s. This wasn't planned. This wasn't planned. But, you know, Donald Trump is saying the North American trade treaty is is a bad deal, even though he made the deal in 2017, so his own deal was bad deal. I guess that's part of the art of the deal. That's all I gotta say. Go ahead, Carol.
no, that's his what do they call that, dementia. He don't remember that he made that deal.
Yeah, he definitely has a whole lot of dementia. I don't know what happened. I could hear you all, but I guess you all couldn't hear me. But it's just crazy the things that he just comes up with, like he's just pulling from a hat every day. Let's do this or let's do that, and it just makes no sense. Why? Take care of the things that we really, really, really need you to do. Like be the president.
Well, I mean, and again, first of all, good morning, Tisha. Tisha popped in and said good morning. It's Wednesday. Okay, thank you for letting us know. But anyway, I'm just messing with you, Tisha. Uh, I mean, again, it's part of his. I mean, and I done figured it out. It's part of his pay to play program.
Mm,
He's got the media; they're bowing down, they're paying it. He's got a whole group of lawyers, big time, prestigious lawyers. They're bowing down and paying it. You understand what I'm saying?
right,
He now these tariffs. It's all about no, you got to pay it if you want to import your stuff over here. Pay to play. And now you go into the movie industry. What's next?
right,
What's next? I mean, it's just totally crazy. I mean, but again, who were his mentors when he was growing up? he was working with the unions in New York, whatever, the contractors and the trash men and all these various unions, which most of those unions were being run by the mafia. So those were his mentors. That's how he learned how to do business. Look at him. This man is 79, about to be 79, okay? And he thinks he's the toughest man on the planet. I don't know. Did you hear what he told old boy the other day? Was the new president of Canada?
Mm-mm.
The dude told him straight out, no, Canada is not for sale. Trump told him, says, never say never.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Look, dude, you gotta sit back and let Trump just mouth off. And I don't want to be mean and rude and sound insensitive, but
but he does.
he doesn't have so much time left. And I guess this is his boasting. I guess he has some of that macho ego that they say Latinos have. He wants to kind of have, I'm the big bad wolf and I'm the top dog, not you. And his idols like I guess Kim Jong Un and Putin, he looks up to them, and now he wants to. He's like, oh, now I'm on their level. Now let me boast, let me show, let me will this and press all these buttons, and I believe what you're saying, Ed, is correct. This is a scheme for pay to play because off of his first term, now he has the Saudi golf tournaments in his resorts.
Crazy.
And that's a conflict of interest. There's so many different conflict of interest with Jared Kushner, with Ivanka Trump. There's a lot of conflict of interest even in this type of administration. Marjorie Taylor Greene just I think they're gonna start investigating her because of the trade she made when Trump put on his social media that this is the best time to buy when the market was low.
Right.
And
Well, I mean, you see what happened with Martha Stewart, so we'll see what happens with Margaret.
Okay, but see, she's not in
power.
Trump's
That's
hemisphere.
true. Now you are right about that. So
Okay, so
she definitely
but
had to pay.
I mean, and I mean that was something else. There was a woman that got arrested after what was it, 2020, in Colorado, where she was some official as far as the voting
Right.
thing, and she allowed Trump's people to come in and gave them access to the voting machines.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
she got busted. The judge locked her butt up. Now it's coming out that Trump, I mean, he kind of made her a hero during his campaign, and now they talking about he's getting ready to write her a pardon too.
Oh wow.
You know
Oh
what I'm saying?
wow.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's just again, he wants everybody to bow down to him. He's got the whole Republican Party. It's almost like he's got naked photos of him or something. I mean, I don't know. They're just totally scared to
Look.
stand
Oh,
up to
okay.
him.
He got
Oh,
something.
Ed,
He has to.
I
'Cause
think you alluded to something. Okay. Remember how, and I hate to always bring it up, Epstein. They
mhm.
were best friends.
Oh,
Epstein
I
was
hear you.
Oh
rumored.
yeah.
Epstein was rumored to have pictures of senators and rich people, even in other countries that were in
Right, right,
power in video and other compromising positions like that, right?
right.
Who knows? Just who's not to say that
Who knows? He might
the
have
orange
them.
man has a possession of some of
You
these
know,
stuff.
and
Right.
whatever he don't have, Diddy might have. Since it
Yeah.
seemed
I
like
was gonna say the same thing.
Diddy took over when
Right.
Epstein passed away. But anyway, we're gonna move on to the next one. Anthony said good morning, so good morning, Anthony. And Tisha said yes, she does need to remind us what day of the week it is. So okay.
Wow.
So anyway, let's jump off into these last set of promos, and then we're gonna get into our last article. Did you know Blind United offers free training in assistive technology? We call them interest groups. We offer training in JAWS, NVDA, iPhone, iPad, as well as Meta Ray-Bans. We also have groups like support group, cooking groups, and crafting groups. There are also groups for entertainment like movie night and RS game night. For more information about all the interest groups that we offer, just email us at info@blindunited.org or visit our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Group. We would love to have you be part of the Blind United crew.
June 21st, got a vibe so right. Come through the service and a day tonight. It's Blind United, yeah, we're bringing the flair. Crafts and colors floating in the air. Jewels that shine, lotion so smooth. Mosaics, baked goods, handmade grooves. You don't wanna miss this artful affair. Blind made magic, love everywhere. Jewel that shine, lotion so smooth. Mosaics, baked goods, handmade grooves. You don't wanna miss this artful affair. Blind made magic, love everywhere. You want a table, just 25 bucks. Bring your vision, your craft, your luck. Vendors welcome, come show your pride. Let your work shine, let your soul ride. It's more than a fair, it's a moment to share with a community that truly cares. So email us now, don't miss your spot. info@blindunited.org, we got a lot. Jewels that shine, lotion so smooth. Mosaics, baked goods, handmade grooves. You don't wanna miss this artful affair. Blind made magic, love everywhere. So come vibe with the crew, enjoy the day. Blind United has got it set our way. June 21st, bring your smile and light. Art and love, yeah, we'll shine so bright.
All right. Well, again, if you're in the area and got a craft that you do and got some items you'd like to sell, we got a place for you. $25 donation, get you a table, and all your proceeds belong to you. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's crafting, make a particular, like a brittle, or maybe I know some folks do some stuff with shea butter, and we got some folks that's working with doing hand sanitizers and just all kinds of stuff, man. So whatever a person's crafting, you never know who might want that stuff. Come on out and see if you can make you a couple sales. So anyway, this last one is kind of a cold case file that got solved here recently. So let's check this one out.
Today on Coffee Time, Audrey Backberg's 60-year disappearance solved, a cold case that stunned America. In a case that has captivated both investigators and the public for over 6 decades, Audrey Jean Backberg, a young mother who vanished without a trace from her Wisconsin home in 1962, has been found alive at age 82. The Sauk County Sheriff's Office recently confirmed that Backberg is safe and well, bringing long-awaited closure to one of Wisconsin's most enduring cold cases. A disappearance that haunted generations. Backberg's disappearance on July 7, 1962, shocked the small town of Reedsburg, Wisconsin. Married at just 15, Audrey was 20 years old and the mother of 2 young children when she left home reportedly to collect her paycheck and never returned. It later emerged that she had endured a troubled and violent marriage. In the weeks leading up to her disappearance, she had filed a criminal complaint against her husband, citing severe physical abuse and even death threats. On the day she vanished, a babysitter reported hitchhiking with Backberg to Madison, Wisconsin. From there, the two women boarded a Greyhound bus to Indianapolis, Indiana. Audrey was last seen walking away from the Indianapolis bus stop alone. For decades, that was where the trail ended. Modern technology reopens a cold case. For 62 years, her family and local law enforcement were left without answers. That changed in January 2025 when Detective Isaac Hansen reopened the case using advanced genealogical techniques. Clues from an Ancestry.com account linked to Backberg's sister led Hansen to an out-of-state address. With assistance from the local sheriff's department, Hansen contacted the woman living at that address. In a remarkable conversation that lasted 45 minutes, Audrey Backberg confirmed her identity and revealed that she had intentionally left her former life behind. She had since built a new life under a different name, remarried, and created a future far removed from the abuse and trauma of her early years. No regrets, but lingering pain. Audrey told authorities she has no regrets about her decision to disappear and expressed satisfaction with the life she has led. However, the revelation brought a wave of complex emotions to her surviving family members who spent decades not knowing her fate. Tragically, Audrey's mother passed away in 2023, never learning the truth about her daughter's survival. Broader reflections. While the case's resolution has drawn national attention for its extraordinary longevity, it also highlights deeper societal issues, the enduring impact of domestic violence, the limited options historically available to abused women, and the transformative power of modern forensic technology. Audrey Backberg's story is not just a tale of disappearance. It is a testament to survival, resilience, and the complicated choices faced by those trapped in abusive circumstances. The full account serves as a powerful reminder of why revisiting cold cases with fresh perspectives and new tools is essential, not just for justice, but for healing. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Wow. So, I mean, this one here, there's a few things in here for me. Number one, yeah, we really need to do something better within our system as far as dealing with domestic violence, because whether you're male or female, it takes place. And we need to have stronger, penalties and stuff for that. Because look at what's happened here. You know what I'm saying? You done made this woman run off and she's been gone for over 60 years, right? Even though the article is trying to, play her off as a hero in this because, she was able to get away and create a new life for herself. What I didn't like, and I heard in the article, she has no regrets. That right there is truly, truly sad to me because what's not being said in the article, what about those kids? You ran off and left your kids. You know what I'm saying? You left them in harm's way. This man abused you. Now you bounce and you're going to leave your kids there with the same guy that abused you. Who knows if them kids are not going to be abused? Who knows if one of them kids are going to grow up with an adverse opinion of, marriage and all this other kind of stuff, right? Because they mama abandoned them. So, I mean, again, kudos for getting out of there and saving yourself, but shame on you for leaving your kids, and shame on, society for not doing more to help prevent, domestic violence. So that's what I got on it. What you got, Carol?
It's just sad all the way around. I heard also in the story to where, her mother just passed away before they discovered her 2 years, after. And it's like, I've never been in a domestic situation, but, I do know people who have. And it's just sad that there's not enough out there to protect individuals. Leaving children or having to decide. I'm sure that was a tough choice to have to make, but God, you leaving your kids and then you're not telling anyone. Everybody's assuming the worst and they have to live with that, not knowing. And here it is, you created a whole new life, not even remembering or want to remember what happened. So you have all of these people in your life now that have no clue of really who you are, what you did, and no regrets behind any of that. It's just a sad story all the way around to me. Really, really, really.
Yeah, it's really really sad, and then I mean, again, something's got to be done, because this is just, to me, it's just, I just can't see it being a father, you know what I'm saying, and loving my children, unconditionally. There's no way in the world I would leave them in harm's way like that. So,
Right.
but anyway, what you got, Pedro, as a parent as well?
Yeah, yeah, I noticed those two things too. The children, I feel for the children. If the lady needed to escape to get her bearings, fine, and come back, and then maybe divorce, fight custody for the kids. I know it's going to be tough because she ran away without knowing instead of taking proper channels. But yeah, that I don't have regret line hits hard because coming from a single parent home, you know what I mean? Something similar like that, I feel like my father maybe had no regrets on what he did and the way he left, and stuff like that. Um, this could have those children have some type of feeling, a negative feeling towards a woman, maybe can show up in their marriage later on, you know um and stuff like that. Maybe those children, if they got stayed and if the parent changed and they got, turned out well, maybe those kids, for example, like myself, I told myself, even if I'm not with my children's mom, I would always, always be in my children's life due to the fact that I did not have a father figure in my life, so that negative thing could have been a positive, and I hope it was a positive for those kids because you know you know growing up like that for me, I don't take my kids like lightly, so I'm always going to be around, and I make it clear to them too when I was going through the separation myself, you know
Exactly. I did the same thing with mine. I mean, I got 6 kids, two by my first wife and four by my second. But I've always been, in, my first two children's life. Man, I just can't see that, And then, I mean, right quick, Tisha, Tisha's always joking, but anyway, she said, back up off of Trump, that's her baby daddy. Uh,
Oh Lord, no. Ooh,
but,
no.
but she makes also a great point. I believe Carol made this point as well. When this woman took off, she didn't tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? Her
Right.
whole family, her mama, everybody. So now, like you say, her mama done passed away without knowing, what happened to her daughter. You
Yeah.
know, that's a really, really sad situation. But again, because we don't have proper, channels to deal with this domestic violence, you push people into a corner. You know what I'm saying? And you make them do desperate things in order to get away from that environment, And in this situation, again, she done ran off and left her kids, number one. Number two, she done ran off and left her whole family. Her whole family don't know what happened to her. They didn't know whether she was dead or alive. And
the
Mm-hmm.
search parties, all that money they
Yeah.
probably used.
Looking for.
all of that. I mean,
Wow.
and then in the end, they didn't state. I mean, they talked about how the mother had passed away, but what about all her siblings?
Today on
Uh,
Coffee Time.
That's right.
they
Sorry.
may still be alive as well. Or a few of them may still be alive. I mean, now they got some closure, but again, it's just sad that people get pushed into these situations and they have to choose these desperate measures, just to be safe. It's
And just the
really
whole
sad.
outlook of everyone else, their lives were not probably lived the way that they wanted them to be lived, looking for her or hoping to hear something. That changes your whole everything. Wondering, praying, hoping, and not knowing, when she's just thriving and going on as if nothing happened and no one around her knows.
At least let your mom know,
Yes.
so she could be at ease and plot your comeback. Like, so I know in those early days, the laws about domestic violence were real loose, or probably not even in place, and probably not even enacted or anything like that. You
Right.
know, so she probably was at a very tough position, depending on the marriage laws and what state she was. You may not be able to file for divorce depending on what is the reason.
True. Because that was in 1962, 2 years before I was born. So you're right. You don't know. That could just be, hey, the way that they did it. It was just natural to beat your wife or beat your husband. And that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was reading these comments. I mean, again, Tisha says, you know, shame on her for leaving the kids, but again, the father might have been using him. I'm trying to paraphrase, but anyway, because having to know where everybody is, and then talking about how Tina Turner's mother left her in Nutbush. But for me, the difference is yeah, she left her in Nutbush, but at the same time, she didn't totally disappear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She was still, you knew where she knew where her mama was, you know, that kind of thing. So, and then Katie, she popped in there and she says that, she's giving, again, giving Lady credit because 60 years ago, abused women didn't have the resources they have today. So, that's another, perspective on it, and I
Mm-hmm.
kind of agree.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, this stuff is just totally crazy, y'all. This world is going. Ooh, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. It's just totally crazy. But again, when there's children involved, stuff like that, man. Kids are very, very, they detect
Protective.
all of this kind of stuff. I mean, they see things that we don't think they see. You know what I'm saying? And they form opinions based on what's going on in their life. You know, and when you're very, very young, those things can take control and carry on throughout the rest of your life. So I mean, again, we got to be really, really careful when it comes to these kids. I always say, again, like Pedro was saying, maybe she could have just bounced, got herself together, boom, boom, boom. And then at some point came back and says, you know what? No, I want my kids. I want my kids to know where I'm at. She could have reached out to her family and let them know where she was at, And then, I mean, she's doing so well where she was at, maybe she could have sent a couple bucks over to her family. You know what? Make sure my kids get birthday gifts or Christmas gifts or something. Just tell them this is from your mama, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Or she could have sent it. She could have sent a delivered package straight to her kids every year for birthday and Christmas, just to let them know their
you know,
mom's alive.
and when there's a will, there's a way. You know what
Always.
I'm saying? And I guess that's my main point. If you want to, make sure your kids understand why you left and so on and so forth, you can't do that by being silent. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying?
but we gotta understand, she had no regret, so she didn't have that thought in her mind.
No, she didn't. You're right. She did what she felt was the best thing for her.
Yeah,
And
but I am glad that she did got herself out of that situation, because those situations, when it comes to domestic violence, can turn violent and deadly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm not mad at her for leaving. You know,
It's
my
just the
thing
way
is,
she went about it, you know?
It's just
it's
what
the
she
way she
left
did
behind.
it. Exactly. The desperate measures she took. I understand it was a desperate situation, but again, me as a parent, I just can't see myself leaving my kids behind like that. So that's just my opinion on it. But anyway, we are at the end of our hour with y'all today. Man, it's great doing this with you guys every day. I really do appreciate you folks coming in. Again, as always, please like, subscribe, follow. Hit the notification bell, comment, share, all that good stuff, whatever platform you're checking us out on. And then don't forget to come hang out with us a little bit later on this evening. We will, like I said, we got two technology groups, AI for beginners and advanced technology. And I promise you, you're going to learn something if you come check us out. So on that note, everybody enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And we'll be back with you again tomorrow. Have a blessed day.